Hey everyone, welcome to this episode. As Old White got in the car, he saw the mysterious woman in white by the road, who vanished in a blink. So weird. Old White thought, forget the weirdness, I must rescue Little White. He floored it and sped off. Suddenly, the car sounded like it ran over an orange. Old White got out and saw just Little White's burnt arm, standing there like an unemployed writer. After crying, Old White put Little White's body in the car and grabbed a box from the pile of gifts nearby, his surprise for this Christmas. But he felt it was time for the gift's true purpose to show. They didn't know White Lady had lost it. She finished an entire pumpkin pie, babbling like a machine, clearly crazy. Old White told Jenny a story. He said tonight's events were strikingly similar to the story. In it, a family was driving too. They saw a lonely girl with a book by the road and kindly offered her a ride. However, when they passed a cliff, the girl in the back screamed suddenly. By the time they slammed the brakes and looked back, she had vanished without a trace. Later, they learned the girl's family had died in a car crash off a cliff years ago. Since then, the girl became a wandering ghost, haunting the roadside. Old White wondered if the woman in white tonight was one too. White Lady, driven mad, transformed into a powerhouse, while Old White seemed oblivious, completely unaware. White Lady pulled a gun from the car, out of her mind and excited, insisting on playing cops and robbers with Old White. Luckily, her aim needed work, and she missed, shooting Old White in the thigh instead. Jenny, being a trainee doctor, skillfully bandaged him up. To ease the pain, Old White gulped strong liquor and drove on. They now needed to get to Marquette for both the police station and a hospital. Time passed. When Jenny woke, Old White was missing. She panicked and jumped out to look for him. Old White's body swayed around like a dog with a poke in the eye. But when Jenny found him, he was just stargazing, looking up at the North Star, simple to the point of heartbreak. After a while, Jenny woke up again and found Old White missing. Frantically, she jumped out to search for him. Thankfully, Old White was just outside chatting with the North Star. Old White analyzed that since Marquette wasn't on the map, they might as well follow the North Star to maintain their direction. At least they'd eventually reach the sea. Thus, he guessed Marquette might be a military base, and the gas tank still had some fuel left. The two felt a glimmer of hope, but White Lady's mental state continued to deteriorate. She even thought the woods were filled with. After getting in the car, she enthusiastically waved at the crowd, while Old White told her those folks had been partying at Halloween for many years. But White Lady insisted on getting out to chat with her friends. Old White couldn't stop her, and she bravely left. When Old White got out, he found the ground littered with scattered items, but not a sign of White Lady. It's like she suddenly went to a party. Oddly enough, White Lady had jumped out empty-handed, yet it seemed she had produced a whole arsenal. Just as Old White and Jenny were puzzled by this mystery, that familiar car slowly reappeared. This time, Old White had a plan in mind. With a few gunshots, who would have known it worked, and the car slowly began reversing. Soon after, White Lady magically but the problem was, White Lady returned looking a bit off, like she had partied too hard and was now nursing a hangover. She absent-mindedly touched her head, realizing oops. She was missing skin, exposing her brains. Now, it was just Old White and his daughter holding on. With all the blows hitting them back to back, Old White was close to giving up, thinking about ending it all. But his daughter stopped him, asking, "What if you're gone? How will I cope alone?" Pregnant, she needed him to pull himself together. Given Old White's mental state, they decided he should take a turn driving. But not long after, they realized driving was not a piece. Based on the mailbox number, they couldn't find Marquette, but could reach the seaside of Goswell. Old White suggested cutting through the woods, since driving wasn't getting them anywhere. Soon after, they finally reached a point near the stronghold, and nearly jumped for joy. Passing through meant they would reach the farm. But after crossing the stronghold, and walking further, they saw lights in the distance. Getting closer, were they their own headlights? Driving like this felt hopeless, yet they couldn't just sit there and wait. So, they decided to keep driving, hoping for a miracle to occur. Unbelievably, that initial cabin reappeared before them. Were they just going in circles, or were they retracing their previous path? Old White believed this eerie cabin would reveal the truth behind their ordeal, but as soon as the lights turned on, they blew out. What terrible! Couldn't you wait till you had the flashlight? Soon, a problem arose. Striking the third match, Old White saw her behind, and she blew out his match. Jenny, hearing Old White's shouts from outside, rushed to the door, only to almost get sliced in half by Old. Fortunately, Jenny shouted dead, which helped Old White calm down gradually. But it was clear he hadn't fully recovered. As Old White stepped out of the cabin, he brought Jenny alone into a haze of fog. When he learned she had tossed the liquor from the car, he totally lost it, cursing her non-stop. After Jenny passed out, Old White regained consciousness, putting her next to White Lady in the car, ready to drive again. But when he turned, he found the woman in white heading into the woods, his anger boiling as he felt all the troubles were tied to her. "You're going down today," he yelled, raising his gun and storming into the woods. But after a few gunshots, silence returned, the chaos seemed gone. Meanwhile, Jenny suddenly woke up in the car and saw a figure lurking outside. She was startled and quickly started the car, speeding ahead. But not far along, they ran out of gas, like they were trapped in an endless chase. Jenny hurriedly got out and started walking aimlessly. Suddenly, she stepped on something. It was Old White's pen. Blood dripped down from the branches above her, and at that moment, Jenny finally broke down. She shouted, "If you're going to kill me, just do it already. Don't toy." Oh, let's hope this is all just a dream. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you in the next episode.